what's up, you guys? Hopefully you can hear me okay. I rearranged my entire setup yesterday, and I'm not sure which microphone's working. Hopefully this one, but if it's that one, it gets pretty echoey. So anyways, is what it is. The message is what's important, right? So I was redoing everything down here. You can see I kind of got a little studio setup thing behind me. This is kind of where I spend most of my time whenever I'm working at home, and I like it down here. So spent all the time down here, but while I was redoing a bunch of stuff, because we just built out this space not too long ago, I was digging through some of the old drawers. And of course, when you redo something, you try to organize and get rid of the excess crap, right? And I found this newspaper, and it just reminded me of a different time. So I don't know if you can see that. Here, Grandma's Marathon. Let's see, what's the date on that thing? It was June 18th, 2006. So anyways, I am not pictured. Oh, wow, that got all blurry on me. Sorry about that. I'm not pictured in the front picture, I don't think, but I am in there as far as my time and everything goes. So I ran that marathon in 2006, and there's so many life lessons that come along with doing a marathon in the first place. Any of the marathon runners out there, hit some likes on here and give this post a little love, because it is hard, especially for me. I was a complete non-athlete at the time. So I had just gotten out of a relationship. I decided that I was going to get back down to my dating weight, in which case, me being a bit of an extremist that likes to do some crazy stuff, I decided instead of just going for a jog every single day, I'm gonna run a marathon. And the training process for that was crazy. I mean, I spent 5 months. I'd never run before, like really never run. Reasonably in shape, but never really run. Especially for any kind of distance. And I started doing the training, and it was simple because I had a path, right? I knew what I was doing. I was running 5 days a week. I had 2 rest days. I was doing some working out in between. And you kind of go through this entire process. So it's just like anything we do in life or business or whatever. If we create steps, baby steps, to get us to a goal, we can achieve that goal. My goal for that marathon was to finish and not die. That's all I wanted to do. Finish, not die. Super simple. 3 words. Finish, not die. And of course, we get up there. It's in Duluth, Minnesota. And Duluth, Minnesota is beautiful. It was right along the coastline of Lake Superior. And we're, so generally when you're up there, it's relatively cool and there's a nice breeze coming off the lake. But not this day. This day, it wasn't raining. I would have taken rain. Instead, it was 90 degrees with 85% humidity. It was nuts. So I had to run this marathon at 90 degrees, 85% humidity. In the entire history of Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, they had never, they got this flag system that whenever, before the race, they like show you what the conditions are. And like they're different colors based on how dangerous it is. And the black flag is like, proceed with caution. This is as dangerous as it gets. And of course, that was the first year ever they had to put the black flag out there because it was so hot. And so I had to run my first marathon ever in this crazy, treacherous heat. And we just started going, and I remember they always talk about the wall when you are running a marathon. They always talk about the wall, and they'll talk about this in business too. We'll talk about it in network marketing. We'll talk about it in anything. You hit these points in your life where you're butting up against something and you just can't quite get over. And the marathon, there's a definite wall, and it happens at different times for different people. I really got my first major wall that I needed to overcome. It wasn't until later. It was like mile 21 or 22, but I remember I had nothing. My legs were dead. I had never run 21 or 22 miles. My longest training run, I think, was 18 miles, and somehow I'm like, all right, I'm going to go tack another 8 miles onto that here on race day. And so that was my longest training run, but that was the longest one I had. And you do learn something when you're running, that if you just keep going, you're going to be okay. Eventually, you kind of hit this cardio spot where you can just kind of keep going forever. My cardio was never the issue. What became the issue was my legs. And they're just getting sore and they're cramping up and it hurt. So as I was going through that, I had this quote in my mind. I heard this from my buddy Paul Sagan, who was one of the founders of Fortune Builders. And he had said this once at one of the very, very first masterminds I was ever at with him. How you do anything is how you do everything. And that's all I could think about. That's all I could think about. I had family standing at the finish line. I had my now wife running with me as well, and I'm like, all I can think is like, how you do anything is how you do everything. I can put one more foot in front of the other. How you do anything is how you do everything. I can put one more foot in front of the other. And I had to keep that mentality for like those last 6-7 miles, because in 6-7 miles at that pace, that's over an hour. So over an hour of this kind of just treacherous pain, every footstep down felt like, you know, just a sledgehammer hitting the ground, and it just hurt all the way through. But how you do anything is how you do everything. I was not giving up. I was thinking about my future kids. I didn't even have kids yet. I didn't have my first kid till 2009. I didn't have a kid yet. I'm thinking about how you do anything is how you do everything. They're going to look back. They're going to see this. They're going to see this newspaper. I need to finish this stupid marathon. And I just kept going, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, over and over again. How you do anything, how you do everything. And that's the same thing with whether it's anything you're doing in life, anything you're doing in business, anything you're doing with your kids, running a marathon. I mean, the formula to success is not that hard. It is create goal, no matter how big it is. Create little tiny baby steps that are going to get you to that goal. And then don't stop. Don't give up. Don't get 3/4 of the way there and be it's getting kind of hard, and then quit. Can't do that. You just got to keep going. So it's true for everything. We did this really cool thing in the Residual Kids program where we talked about this kind of goal setting, how you can start doing this with kids when they're relatively young, and you can start setting goals for them. And as you set goals for them, make sure that they hit them. And even if they're not super hard goals, but you create these little steps like, all right, you must do A, B, C, D, E, F, goal. Got it. Nice, right? So you get all that, and as you're getting through it, and as they get through it, and they get that success, and they hit that goal, and they have enough of these successes, and the bigger they get, the more they're going to learn and understand as they get older that anything's possible, that they can do whatever they want to do. So I highly encourage you to do this with your own kids. But for adults too, you just got to push through this stuff. You just got to do it. You got to make a decision. You got to have the resolve to do it. You know, it's whether you are going on a specific diet, you go on that diet, you don't cheat. You just don't do it. I know it's easier said than done, but just don't cheat. And personally, I'm on a ketogenic diet. I've done it twice before in my life. I'm doing it again now. And I've never had the intention of making that my full-time diet necessarily, but I'll go in these like 2 to 3 month stints of it. And it's one of those things, like, if you know anything about the ketogenic diet, you can't cheat. As far as I know anyways, you can't cheat. You cheat one day and you fall out of ketosis, and you can't get yourself back into it. I mean, you spent a week or two getting yourself into ketosis. You can cheat one day. You can have 2 slices of pizza, bam, kick yourself out. So you just don't cheat. So that's part of the reason I like that diet so much, is like, it doesn't give you the option of a cheat day. It just says, like, you're just going to do this. And you know what? It's fine. It's amazing. I went through it the first time I went through it. I came out the other side. And when I came out the other side, and even when I decided to not do that specific diet anymore, because I hadn't had any sugar or processed carbs in 3 months, guess what I didn't even want? Sugar, processed carbs, that kind of stuff. So how you do anything is how you do everything. Keep that in mind when you're going out there and building your business. Keep that in mind when you want to build a residual income. This isn't a sprint. None of this is a sprint. This is about being patient. I said this line somewhere else recently. I just heard this quote from Warren Buffett, and I really liked it. I got to look up the exact quote. But the quote basically went like this. I was never worried about I was very patient when it came to I was very patient with the idea of becoming rich, because I knew I would be one day. It's something like that. Like, he was always patient about it. He wasn't worried about it because he knew what was going to happen. He was just going to take his steps. Just step, 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 step. All these boring little steps, day after day after day, that compound on each other and create this massive result. So how you do anything is how you do everything. And building a business, same way. You got a goal. If you're working with us in the Residual Bulldog community, if you're a partner with us in one of our businesses, that's cool. We love to have you there. Keep this in mind. How you do anything is how you do everything, and just keep plodding along. It's not about seeing today's wins tomorrow, because a lot of times you won't be able to, because that step you took was so small. But it's taking those little steps over and over again for the period of like a year, and then you look back and like, you might not notice the results, today from yesterday, like ever throughout the entire process. I mean, you'll get some little wins and victories in there. We're like, yeah, but you get to that end of the year and you look back and you're like, this is how far I came. Like, I didn't notice I was just taking these little steps, but over the course of the year, that's 365 of these little steps. I started way the heck over there. Holy cow, I can't believe I did that. And then you get this reinvigoration that, propels you and motivates you to take more, bigger steps the following year, and then you just keep going. You got to look back sometimes and recognize how far you've actually come, because I know a lot of times it's hard to see it day to day. When I was doing that marathon, it seemed like I was never going to get to the finish line. But in a marathon, it's just the way it's set up by nature. You know the finish line is over there somewhere. So at least you know it's there, and you know what it's going to take, and you just keep going step after step after step after step after step, and you will get there. So no matter how much it hurts some days, how much that marathon hurt, because it hurt. I am pretty sure after that marathon, I went and laid down on, remember it's 90 degrees out, I went and laid down on a parking lot, like concrete. I don't know why, but for some reason, like the heat from the asphalt felt really, really good. And my dad came up to me and he's like, "Can I get you anything?" And I was just like looking up at the sky. I'm like, "Ice cream. I need ice. I don't know why I need ice cream, but I need ice cream and I can't move." So I don't think I did much the rest of that day, but yeah, I don't regret it. Crazy side story, real quick, and then I'm gonna hop off here. Was that the next year we did that same marathon? We decided to do it. I was like, I gotta do one more time. I'm gonna beat my time this time. Got back up there, hottest day they'd ever had again. Broke their record, black flag for the second year in a row, first 2 times in history. We didn't even bother the year after that. I can safely say my marathon days are behind me right now. I've got other fitness goals and health goals, but I was glad I did it, and it's such a great metaphor for so much stuff that we're doing here. So anyways, appreciate you guys for hopping on. Appreciate you guys for being around the Residual Bulldog community. Anything I can do for you, hop into the chat. Let's talk. All right, talk soon. Thanks. Bye.